How would you like for your next iPhone to needlessly cost hundreds of dollars more for nothing? Well, thanks to Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, you just might get that because Donald Trump threatened Apple that unless they make their iPhones in the US, which people call a fairy fanciful fever dream that would ever happen, he's gonna put a 25% tariff on that specific product, which is, I guess, a thing you can do. He tweeted or bleated, "I have long ago informed Tim Cook of Apple," he even got his name right there, "that I expect their iPhones," which he put as possessive rather than plural, "that will be sold in the United States of America will be manufactured and built in the United States, not India or anyplace else. If that is not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the US. Thank you for your attention to this matter," which he ends all of his bleats with these days. But to be clear, Apple would not be paying the tariff. You would be paying the tariff because, again, that's how tariffs work. We're not playing that game. So he was mad apparently during his Middle East trip because Apple, their CEO has announced they're gonna be trying to build more of this in India, perhaps because they're terrified of the China tariffs that he's already put into effect. And during a call, Tim Cook said he expected Apple would face a tariff burden of up to $900 million this quarter alone. However, it could have been significantly worse. Apple and other US tech companies scored a big win last month when Trump exempted electronics from his massive tariffs on China. So originally, he was gonna put these massive tariffs on iPhones and everyone freaked out because, dear God, people need them some iPhones. And so he dialed it back. And then I guess a few days went by and Grandpa forgot about that PR disaster. And so he's just promising it again. And so your iPhone would cost $200, $300, $500 more. I haven't bought an iPhone recently, but a lot more money for nothing extra. And really fast, I just want to be clear, I'm not Jamie Raskin or whatever. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I'm not Jasmine Crockett or anything. But I don't think you're allowed to put tariffs on individual products that one corporation makes. I mean, it's not the exact same thing. But the Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, I looked it up because it occurred to me, unlawful, unconstitutional bills of attainder, laws that punish a specific person or group without a trial. Like, I feel like this is kind of in that territory, because otherwise, AOC could just be like, "Hey, Elon Musk, I don't like the Model Y. I think it's stupid. I don't like that the doors go up. I'm putting tariffs on Model Ys." We wouldn't accept that. But in this case, he thinks he can do it. And that's not the only tariffs he announced. Even if you're an Android person, buckle up because more tariffs are coming. But Brett, what do you make of that quickly?
I mean, I'm trying to find the exact amount because this is interesting to me. According to Yahoo Finance, the net income for Apple in the full year of 2024 was $93.7 billion. They're complaining about a quarterly revenue loss or tariff burden of $900 million
per quarter, yeah.
Per quarter. So let's say that they would incur a tariff burden of 4 times that in the year. So that's $4 billion extra they would have to pay, okay? Their profit is $93.7 billion in a year, okay?
Yeah.
So if we're
presumably not specifically off of iPhones, presumably off of everything. But the iPhones are probably a significant chunk of that. They're single biggest thing.
It's a significant chunk, but like, let's talk about, let's be honest about that, okay? When Trump says eat this to Walmart and to these companies, there are many giant corporations with equally giant mouths who could eat this. But Trump is not serious about this either. Otherwise, he would find legislative ways to ensure they eat it. You could do that through price caps and all kind of things that the founding fathers laid down a pretty well-lit runway for you to accomplish. My conjecture is that he doesn't care about that stuff. He also, every single manufacturing style or retail sell actual stuff besides land businesses that Donald Trump has created, each one of those has failed miserably, okay? His book sold copies, his game was stupid. No one could eat those steaks that he sold. And so he's bad at this. He's it only, my conjecture, I would say that he absolutely only always already is trying to win some kind of messaging game, not an economic one and not a legislative one, period. He just wants power, and the only profit and loss sheet line that he cares about is his own. And only in that respect will he put legislation forth that affects other businesses. But as we've reported already today, there's tons of corrupt ways that folks are convincing him to go nice on them.
I don't know that it's legal. I don't think he's gonna do it. It'd be wildly unpopular. Really fast though, I do just have to mention, he also threatened 50% tariffs on the entire European Union, which is definitely a thing that he didn't just think of and immediately send out on Truth Social. It's definitely a strategy of his administration. I mean, Scott Bessent went on TV and he didn't say it's crazy. So clearly this is a thing they've been working on. But yeah, 50% tariffs on the EU, which we do, collectively the better part of $1 trillion a year in trade with. 50% tariffs, which again has done damage to the stock market. But don't worry, we have a lot of time to potentially avert that outcome. I mean, it's not supposed to start for 8 days. So I'm sure he'll make trade deals with the entire EU in the next week plus 1 day. And he ends his message, if we could put up graphic 3. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Why does he do that all the time? That's so weird. Is ChatGPT generating these and trying to make it sound a little bit LinkedIn? Anyway, and then one other thing. He also he likes his deal with the UK, which I don't think is actually a deal yet, and we don't have any details. But he told them they have to stop doing renewable energy and they have to start drilling for oil in the North Sea. They can't have windmills off of Aberdeen anymore, it's just because of his goddamn golf course. Like he wants them to not do clean energy because the one time every 5 years that he goes to Scotland, he doesn't want to see a windmill in the distance. Get me some seashells, please. Get me some seashells.
The drilling, how does that benefit America?
It doesn't. He just doesn't want to see the windmills. That's literally it.
British Petroleum, and similar. I mean,
I'm getting dizzy. I'm so angry right now at the world that we live in.
If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?